that doesn't totally rule out the idea of suicide. I mean, a toxicology report can't tell you whether someone drank eye drops willingly or not. So when this report comes out in 2019, police have already had some suspicions about the person who found Lynn dead. And so they start heavily looking into Jesse once they begin to think that this might be a murder, right? And here's what they find. Let's just say after looking into Jesse, they do not think that Lynn took those eye drops on her own. So it turns out Jesse wasn't some selfless friend of Lynn's who was dedicating her life to try and nurse her back to health to thank her for the years of friendship. Jesse actually had a bit of a criminal background. In fact, up until February 2016, about 2.5 years before Lynn died, Jesse was in prison for forgery and identity theft charges. Shortly after that, when Lynn started to feel ill and perhaps wanting to help Jesse get back on her feet, Lynn asked Jesse if she would be her caretaker, and Lynn would pay her in return. This is what Jesse said. And in June 2016, just a few months after Jesse was released from prison, large chunks of cash started leaving Lynn's account. And then Jesse starts taking credit cards out in Lynn's name. She begins writing checks to herself from Lynn's accounts. Lynn seemingly made Jesse, along with her chosen nephew Anthony, a beneficiary on her will in 2018. But it's also possible that Lynn just trusted Jesse to help her manage her finances. But instead of using that money to say, I don't know, pay off Lynn's mortgage, Jesse transferred that money directly into her own account. I can tell you for a fact that's what happened during Lynn's last hospital stay. This was in October of 2018, the month she died. While Lynn was being cared for by doctors, her caretaker Jesse was treating it like a little vacation. She was transferring money from Lynn's account and dropping it directly into hers, only to withdraw that money from an ATM at a nearby casino. On the day Lynn died, a JCPenney credit card was opened in Lynn's name. And then a day or so later, $3,000 worth of furniture was charged to another card in Lynn's name. But she's dead. Furniture that was then delivered to Jesse's apartment. Now, obviously, we know it wasn't Lynn who made that purchase, though the biggest transaction actually came a few weeks after that, when a fraudulent check made out to Jesse from Lynn's checkbook was cashed for $130,000. So between February 2016, when she was released from prison, to October of 2018, when Lynn died, Jesse had $144,000 of Lynn's now in her name.
Yeah.
So no wonder Anthony was in shock when he followed up on his portion of the inheritance and was like, there's nothing left. And that's because slowly, as Lynn was still alive, Jesse had been draining it to herself.